recapitulation. So please off the mic. Okay, let's take a look. Okay. So we are in the chapter 4. And about three vehicles, section 1, the essential core to practicing the path of the three vehicle. And section 2 is the stages of practice the three vehicle. We are finished. Okay. In stage 2, we talk about the elements that make up this path, which is the four noble truth and 8 noble path. And in stage 3 is defining the noble truth of the path to cessation as embodied by the 3 training and the noble eightfold path. We finished the advanced training of morality, the advanced training of the mind. We are in the advanced training of the wisdom. Okay, well, I think I have to add in something, the advanced training of the mind, because according to Mr. Leong, he's quite interested to know regards the connective process. Okay, well, I wish to talk about connective process, but I don't try to describe the jhana because the diagram is already enough to describe our normal daily activity, especially the 5 senses. Okay, well, Abhidhamma, you can consider is the subject is in the STPM level. For way to Buddha is in form 5, so the gap is quite big. Okay, and it is in chapter 4 provided. Okay, furthermore, it's in the chapter 4 provided. So I just give a brief perception to Mr. Leong, and I will try to use the perspective of the meditation, especially with Vipassana, for the explanation. Okay, well, first of all, we all understand that our defilement, the arousals of the defilement is due to the wrong perception of I. So the I perception nowadays is quite well explained. The reason is the wrong perception of I, it makes us attached to the things which is belongs to earth. All right. So meaning to say that in order to be detached, it's not necessarily go to destroy the belonging, but you have to destroy the perception of I. Basically, we don't really to destroy it, but we go to analyze it and try to, and try to make the hallucination of the I disappear. Abhidhamma suggests a very effective way. It uses the word as a compactness. You understand compactness, right? A compactness meaning to say that you feel the solidity, okay, you feel something is quite real, okay, but actually it's not the real. So it uses the word compactness. There's a 3 part of compactness. We have to really break one by one, okay. Well, first of all, it's the compactness of a continuity. Meaning to say that, okay, during we hear the sound, during we see the thing, all right, okay. Basically, what we feel is so real. The reason actually it is not the real, but just because our mind, rise and fall so fast, it makes us deluded that it is real. So a good example is, for example, the fan. Okay, if let's say a fan, okay, once the fan is try to moving, we can't see how many knife, right? We don't know how many knife, okay, but we can know how many knife of the fan. If let's say your head can rotate with the speed equivalent to the fan, then meaning to say that, okay, or your eyeball can rotate as fast as the fan, or your head can rotate like that. Then meaning to say that the way you see the fan, it look like stop. It look like stop. Then you can see exactly 3 fan there. Okay, or nowadays they're using the stroboscope to see the fan. Okay, well, basically jhana is the tools. By using our sensual consciousness, whatever we see is so solid, it's so compact. But once you're using the jhana, you are able to freeze it. Like Mr. Leong used to do, he used to freeze himself, and jhana can freeze all the activity. Okay, once the freeze activity, meaning to say that we already start to break the compactness of the continuity. You see it not that continuous already. Okay, when you see the thing not that continuous, you need to say that, okay, you will notice that the mind actually is come from one by one. And basically the mind arise they follow the rules and regulation. There's a specific rules and regulation, and with a specific function for each of the mind. All right. Well, it's basically everyone experiences the same thing, which is repeatable and it's very scientific. It's very science because everybody will experience the same thing. Okay. So there will be each one of the process. I mean, there's a complete process, and with the complete process, every mind they label with this according to the function. Everybody experience the same. Okay. So you were able to check one by one. But you need the knowledge of Abhidhamma because the knowledge help you to label it, to recognize it. It's just why I wouldn't wrongly recognize Sally as Elena or Mr. Leong as a Sally. The reason is each of you have been wellly labeled. Okay, you got a name for three of you, so I wouldn't wrongly recognize it. So you have to recognize each of them, but it's not enough. From one mind, we notice that within our mind, there's a mental factor. Meaning to say, just like an orange, right? Basically, an orange consists of the skin and the juice and the fiber, all right? So meaning to say that orange, if let's say you break the whole thing, you don't see orange anymore. But how do we get the orange? It's because the combination with the different component and elements and create the one thing as an orange. So the component in the orange, just like a mental factor, which is the basic elements to form the mind, and also they themselves they got so many mental factor, and each one mental factor they have a different function. You have to discern it. This is all the knowledge also from the Abhidhamma in chapter 2. So meaning to say, you break the compactness of the continuity, and then then from there you go to break the compactness of the gathering, okay, of the assemblement, okay, because one mind is an assemblement, is a congregation of the mental factor. You break it second, then you found that there got so many mental factor, and the third, from here you go into see each one mental factor they got a different function. Once this process you really go through, okay, you will notice that basically whatever you experience from your five faculty actually is from, it's not that real. It's not that real, and it is not, it is not that compact, and actually it is really comprising from the different affinity, from a different cause and condition. So that is how the way we go to break our eye illusion. Okay. So let me show you some proof and diagram how the Abhidhamma use it. I will let you copy down the terminologies later on. No worry. Okay. So make sure you understand. Let's take a look. Okay. Okay. The diagram is the five-door process. Okay. Meaning to say you're going to use it in the eye, ear, nose, tongue, body. Blah, 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 blah. Okay. Okay, let's take a look. You see how? Now here's the 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Okay, total 17. Is this correct? Okay, meaning to say that basically our mind-door connected process, it takes 17 consciousness. Okay, it could be less than 17, but cannot be more than 17. 17 is the maximum. Okay, so first of all, meaning to say that each one of the process, the knowing process, it could be take maximum 17 consciousness. Okay, so this is the first rule. Okay, then secondly, let's take a look. Then from here, okay, you see, here's we got a different name here. Each one, like you see, past life continuum, a trembling life continuum, a rest life continuum. Okay, we don't bother it. Okay, because it's already. You have to learn all this from chapter 1 to 4 so that to fully understand it. Okay, but here also you can see, but there's a few things which you are quite familiar is about number 5, eye consciousness. This is something you're familiar, all right? Okay, so eye consciousness. Okay, and then next you're familiar is the maybe a receiving, investigation, and determination. All right, and the one which you're most familiar is is about number 1 to 7. We call it impulsion. That is the jhāvana. So jhāvana is where the karma take place. Meaning to say that, okay, once we create the karma, here is the place we create the karma and we accumulate the karma. Is here is it? Okay, so basically, here, and then after we got the first registration and second registration, and the mind will go back to the normal. So from here 1 to 3, you will consider our mind is in a sleeping state. It's in a passive state. Here number 4 to number 17. Here we consider the mind is in the active stage. Okay, and then after the 17, we go back to the passive state. But number 4 to 17, the more crucial is the number 9 to number 15, which we start to create and accumulate the karma. Okay, and then here everyone we consider it as a consciousness. Everyone is the consciousness, and the consciousness arises. Why? For example, okay, now, okay, you try to see, okay, we try to see the image of the picture, or we hear the sound. Okay, once the sound appears, okay, the sound, I mean, it comes out in Abhidhamma, it goes everything to the microscopic. The sound actually is consists of from all the sound wave, maybe the small particle. So the sound will go into the ear, and from the it goes to our nerve system. It start triggering the whole process, the connective process. You start the whole process. So which is the 17, 1 to 17. The whole thing will appear. Okay, and basically each of the consciousness with one object only. Meaning to say one sound particles we create one mind appear like this. It will make one mind appear like 5 dot everything. All right, then 5 dot everything will disappear. Okay, and he will pass the sound particle to the next number 5, which is the ear consciousness. Then ear consciousness will fall. Okay, it will disappear, and it will is going to pass the sound particle to number 6 to the receiving. Because the name is receiving, the function is receiving. So this is one of our consciousness. So it passed until to number 9 to 15. Okay, if let's say you found that the sound so noisy, so you will have some volition that please stop the sound. So it's number 1 to 7 is the one to determine. Okay, but if let's say you enjoy the sound very much, you will say, oh, please repeat, I like it so much. It also will take place in the same area also. So that is where the karma create. So that is something we call connective process. Okay, basically once you do the vipassana, you have to really to go through all these things, and you are able to do so with the help of the jhana. All right. So first thing. Secondly, once you experience the jhana, you have also to discern how is the process of the jhana, like what we're talking just now. Just now is the 5 senses, okay? 5 senses, the experience is the mental state of the 5 senses. But if let's say you experience the jhana, you have to discern accordingly, like just now what we mentioned. And same, if let's say you experience the nibbana, you have to also discern accordingly. So meaning to say that once you experience the nibbana and experience the jhana, you will know exactly which mental experience that. That is the profound and also the wonderful of Abhidhamma, because things very clear. Things very clear and it's repeatable. So to get it. So Mr. Leong, once you go my Chinese video clip, you saw all this is about this. That is the specialty of the Theravada Abhidhamma, which is not available in our, how to say, in the Sarvastivadin Theravada Abhidhamma. They haven't developed such a complete theory. But in Tauya Timsa, this Theravada, they already have a very complete idea. And now you can integrate together with the Vipassana experience and make you meditate in a very scientific, systematic, and also in a very, how to say, in an order manner. Okay. So Mr. Leong, get it? You look before asleep, I think.
See,
Yes. Please, any question?
see, for these cognitive processes that you're talking about, is this related to the 17 thought moments?
Yes, that's true. It's a 17 thought moment, correct?
Okay.
Okay.
All right. Thank you.
Okay, satisfied. Okay. Well, basically, I think maybe a few terminology have to copy down. Okay, it's about the compactness. Okay. We call it as a vipassana. Compactness of congregation. Mr. Leong, is there functionality or function? Which one is the nouns, Mr. Leong? Function or functionality? Nouns. Elena, which one is the noun?
Functionality is correct.
It's correct. Yeah, that is the compactness for each one. You have to really break through one by one. So you just put down somewhere in the training of wisdom lah. Because it is all related to the wisdom. I've been going through the meditation method of a Taoism and Yogaism. I think none is comparable with the Abhidhamma. None. Yeah, because it is so complete, detailed, and I like it so much. Am I selling the fruit and praise the fruit by am I selling fruit and praise my fruit is good lah?
You're blowing your own trumpet.
Yeah, I blow my own trumpet. there's a English idiom. Okay.
Yes, that's right.
The proper English idiom. Okay. Well, basically, I think according my knowledge, because Elena and also Mr. Leong, the character is very analytical mind. Okay, without a comprehensive and detailed map, I don't think you will start your spiritual journey. Am I right? I think Mr. Leong and Elena, they are the analytical mind type lah, like me also. But Sally and Mrs. Leong is quite different. Maybe they don't need a detailed map before they start their journey lah. So there's a different character. Okay. All right. So Mr. Leong, enough already.
Yes, yes. I think with the deep understanding of all the processes, then we can understand it more clearly. Without any.
And then, especially if you are request to invest maybe 1 month to 3 months or even 1 year for a method, but if you are not clear what it's about, I don't think you will invest such a long time. right?
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, right, correct.
Yeah, okay. But when things go so clear, so you are so willing to invest the time for it. Okay. All right. Well, actually, this part of this, the mind door process, okay, especially once you firstly experience the jhana and firstly experience the nibbana, I think, are you interested to know or not, or you feel this the detail is more is enough for you already? Do you interested to know? How do you firstly experience the jhana and firstly experience the nibbana?
Yes, I think it is important because sometimes if we experience it, we also do not know. And how from there, how can we improve further from there? We do not know.
Yeah. That's so it's because here we are quite intensive in meditation also. So better we have a clear map. Okay. Oh well, if that's the case, I think I will ready for it lah. So one day I will ready. I got the map. I got the table, and I will try to make it nicely to you all. I try to explain roughly. No, never mind. Okay. So after the way to Buddhahood, we can go further in Abhidhamma. Seems I think to your MCO. Okay. All right.
Sifu, please put it into English.
Oh no, sure it's English. I wouldn't make Mandarin for you. So not everything is English.
Thank you, Sifu.
Yeah. Yes, Sally, anything? Yeah.
I say by the time we go to Abhidhamma will be another 1 or 2 years. By the way, we are studying our Buddhahood so long.
Oh, yeah. Okay, then the case I try to take the crucial part. As a supplement to the way to Buddhahood. You need it actually also. Okay. Okay, so now we further go to the way to Buddhahood. Sally, anyway, learning Buddhism is a long-term process. You don't finish maybe just within 1 or 2 years, right? It could be take longer. But once you finish Abhidhamma class, basically it's really enough. You've got a very comprehensive map. It's not that necessary you go to academic study. Not that necessary. Okay. But you have to, you see, the problem is why you have to go through the way to Buddhahood. The reason is the way to Buddhahood, like Form 5. Form 5 is the fundamental subject. It seems useless, but it also seems useful, you see. You can't use Form 5 SPM to seek for any job. But without the Form 5 foundation, you can't do any courses in diploma. It's something like that. So you have to understand why you have to invest the time for that. Until now, you realize it's correct, right? You realize that you have to invest the time.
But what I'm saying is that it's just takes so long time.
Yeah, very long time. But our education is even longer, our mandate. Okay, no problem. So now we go to the verse number 94. Okay, class, take a look. Okay, before I try to go through in our previous lesson is number 93. It's about the study of superior wisdom. It's right understanding that transcend this world. Okay, so it's about the right understanding. So right understanding meaning to say that the word transcending meaning to say surpasses the ordinary world. All right. So we call it as a prajna. All right. So prajna helps us to realize. Prajna is the ultimate virtue. All right. And then from here, prajna is the leader, and also at the same time, they are also. They play roles in the beginning to the end. And we use different words to describe as understanding, contemplation, enlightenment. Well, anyway, for this way to Buddhahood, the best explanation is all from here only. Enlightenment, prajna, wisdom. We can't go further. But Abhidhamma will provide you the whole thing picture very clearly. That is the advantage. It really further enhance your understanding to the prajna. Okay. Then from here we go further. Okay. So now we go to the new verse. Number 94. Okay. So Sally, can you please read it out? Okay.
Okay. 94. Buddha told Ananda, the meaning of dependent origination is profound. When this exists, that exists. When this arises, that arises. Everything is impermanent and has no self. Having only worldly conventional existence, The world transcending doctrine of liberation comprises the four truths and dependent origination. The wisdom that transcends this world thoroughly understands both. What follows is a discussion of the right understanding of the dependent origination. The Eightfold Path, right understanding of dependent origination. To an ordinary person, the doctrine of dependent origination is simply an explanation of the afflictions that bring about karma and its fruition, suffering, and it explains only the continuity of birth and death. Even some discerning Buddhist scholars have similar ideas, but this is a worldly understanding of dependent origination. How can that liberate one from birth and death? Ananda.
Never mind, you can stop here. Sorry, I think something work for being copied down. Okay, well, just somewhere here, class, you will please copy down Jawana, the words Jawana, and put remark accumulation of karma, Jawana, okay. And also English impulsion, okay, please write it, all right. Okay, that will be enough already. The more crucial point is this one for the whole connective process. Okay. Okay. Okay, no much point. Yeah, let's take a look. Well, according to the doctrine, dependent origination is profound, but you see, when this exists, that exists. When this arises, that arises, okay? But they say it is profound. Do you think, are you being fooled by it? Elena, what do you think? Are you being fooled? Because it looks so simple, but say it is profound? What do you think, Elena? No comment. Okay, yes, actually, the theory is so simple. Actually, English, the translation is understandable than Mandarin. In Mandarin, they say, 此有故彼有, 此生故彼生. I don't know why, basically, English is more direct and straightforward. Mandarin, I don't know, I have to guess, what is this all about? So, why, okay, I mean, what is the meaning for it? Basically, it relates to this. Let's take a look. So this is the chart which you're familiar with. Yeah, this color you are more familiar. Let's take a look. Basically, when we say that this exists, is the ignorance exists, then the mental formation arise. Okay, 此有不彼有. You must have an ignorance so that the mental formation can arise, and you must have mental formation, then the consciousness can arise. So that is the meaning for this verse. When this exists, that exists. When this arises, that arises. That is the meaning. Okay, we'll go to deeper a little bit. Basically, normally, what we understand is about the karma and its friction. Let's take a look. The karma is what? Mental formation is the karma. Okay, and here, well, the diagram not that well. I want to take the more detailed one. Which one is big? Yeah, bigger. Let's take a look. This is the karma. The mental formations is the karma, and here the becoming itself also is the karma. So let's take a look. The becoming itself is the karma, and the mental formation also is the karma. Mental formation is the karma in the past, and the becoming is the karma in the present. Okay, once there's a becoming, so we need to say in our future that the future effect will be the birth. Okay, and when there's a mental formation in the past life, then the consequence will be the consciousness as a present effect. So basically, people understand it's about the karma and the fruit, and also the karma and the friction. That is basically what we understand regarding to the paticca samuppada. All right, and they explain only the continuity of the birth and death. Yeah, this is correct. You see, that is the birth and death, the process. You see, birth. Okay, so past karma is our past life. When we die, okay, now this is the present life. All right, so present life, when we die, this is the future life. Okay, so this is the most easiest way to understand it, but it could be deeper. Let's take a look. What Ananda wants represent. Let's take a look for this. Mr. Leong, can you please read it out, please?
Ananda once represented dependent origination as easy to understand. The Buddha said to Ananda, the true meaning of all things arise independently is very profound. Indeed, dependent origination is profound like the ocean. It is not easy to fathom its depths. After the Buddha realized dependent origination under the Bodhi tree, no divine beings such as the Jade Emperor or devils or Brahmas could understand it, let alone humans. Dependent origination is the fundamental root of the Buddha's Dharma's transcendence and superiority. Naturally, it is profound, extremely profound, difficult to explain, extremely difficult to understand. Consider, for example, the mutual production of the cause and effect of the 12 links, which explains the limitless continuation of birth and death. Upon examination, it is clear that sentient beings always undergo birth and death and transmigrate because of the 12 links. As long as they are sentient beings attached to birth and death, they cannot escape. The 12 links are both certain and universal. With firm belief and grasp of cause and effect and of the natural law common to all sentient beings, one can attain an initial understanding of dependent origination. But one has to go further and realize its more profound meaning.
Yeah, just continue. Yes. Not much facts.
According to the Buddha's teachings of dependent origination, when this exists, that exists. When this arises, that arises. And ignorance causes action. Action causes consciousness. And so on up to birth causes aging and death. One should know that the mutual production of cause and effect in the 12 links, ignorance, action, and all the others up to aging and death, is the sequence of dependent origination, and that when this exists, that exists. When this arises, that arises, is the rule of dependent origination. Cause and effect and birth and death are what they are because when this exists, that exists. When this arises, that arises. Once one understands this, one can delve further into the general nature of the dependent origination of things.
Thank you so much.
All things arises independently.
Okay, nothing. Okay, class, basically just bear in mind one fact that, okay, basically the theory for dependent origination we are studying now are more on understanding, more on academic, all right. Well, if let's say you really go to the meditation center, the way they apply it is not that complicated. It's just like, I think you all remember during our study time, if people ask you how much percentage of the knowledge you use from your study in the working environment, basically, how many percentage? Elena? Mr. Liang? 2%, see, not 2%. 2%, right? 2%. Yeah, I think basically most of us will answer less than 5%, less than 10%, except it's accountancy, or maybe I think the how to say the law, you might the professional might use most of the knowledge, but for us it doesn't really take place like that. Same, you see. So basically now we will go through a more comprehensive way to understand it with the more terminology, with the more complicated theory. But once you go to the meditation center, your teacher, if he will guide you to meditate, and he will define you. With the comprehensive understanding of the theory, you can easily understand what your Sayadaw, your meditation teacher, you can easy him. You can have a better comprehension over his teaching, the guidance for the meditation. So that is the value for it. Okay. So let's take a look. How is the dependent origination explained here? So first of all, okay, Buddha tell Ananda that, well, the true meaning of all this thing is very profound. Can you check for me the references? The reference number 32, from what sutta is it?
Page 361.
What sutta is it?
佛小大圣经印证
Oh,
Sutra on the great meaning of life.
the great meaning of life. Is this correct?
Yes.
Okay, it is correct. Okay, well, since it's Mandarin, it's quite hard for you to tell anything. Okay, now, then you see, according to the legend, all right, after Parinibbana of the Buddha, actually Buddha refused to disclose the Four Noble Truths because he noticed that it is too profound. Okay, but anyway, how to say, the Brahma Vihara, he comes and sincerely begged from Shakyamuni Buddha for 3 times. So lastly, Shakyamuni promised, okay, so I will try to expound the teaching. So this sutta is very famous. Okay, basically also due to the compassion of the Buddha, because the 12-link condition, it looks so simple, right? We just spend a little bit time, we are able to memorize it. But you can imagine or not, 12-link condition actually is the very unique and the feature of the Buddhism. Basically in India, you can see so many schools, okay, and mostly they are very good in meditate, they got a very good meditator, but none of them are able to analyze the reincarnation of the human, which consists of these 12 elements, and the 12 element can form the whole continuation of the birth and death. It's not that simple. Just Shakyamuni is able to do so. The rest, they can't. You see, Shakyamuni Buddha teacher also is a very good jhana, a good practitioner. They're able to attain the immaterial sphere, see? Remember how his teacher? But none of them can disclose the fact that, well, this is the 12th thing can really, to explain how people reincarnate. But basically, what it is important is once he able to disclose this is the rule for people reincarnate, meaning to say that at the same time he disclosed the rule, the rule how to liberate it at the same time. You got it or not? Because you know what is the cause for a reincarnation, meaning to say when you try to destroy the cause, you'll be able to be liberated. So that is the important why we have to learn this. But anyway, for this, in meditation sector, they will use a different way to interpret all this type of thing. They will redefine it, by using Abhidhamma knowledge, basically in Myanmar. Okay. So now you have to understand just theoretically. Okay, let's take a look. Now next is here. According to this theory, is explain the limitless continuation of birth and death. Okay, and none of us can escape. Okay, so the theory explains that ignorance causes action, and the actions causes the consciousness. You see or not? Ignorance causes action. Actions causes consciousness. That is the meaning. You see, we got ignorance. It will cause the mental formation. then the mental formation will cause the consciousness. So that is the cause and effect. Okay, class, let's take a look. How many cause and effect in this diagram? Can you try to count it out for me? Because this is so well, this diagram is so well explained. The cause and condition, the cause and effect. So how many pair of a cause and effect in this diagram? Can you count for me?
12.
12. All right. How about the rest? 12 or so. All right. Any disagree?
Thanks.
Again, sorry.
One cause for present and past, effects, one for future and one for present.
Oh, okay, okay. So you try to analyze from here, past causes, present effect. Okay, all right. So this is a general. Plus, if you go to detail, you see, if let's say ignorance is the cause, mental formations is the effect. 1. Mental formation is the formation, consciousness is the effect, that's the 2. Okay, so 2, all right, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. Sally, you are counting by this way, right? You count by this way. So
yeah.
That's totally 12 cause and condition. In detail, but in brief, still is correct too. One cause, one effect. Then then another present causes, there will be future effect. Basically, once we talk about the cause and effect, this is how the cause and effect apply to explain the reincarnation of the being. But once you go to once as a beginner, basically people will just use it to explain. Maybe you got a virus as a cause, then you get the disease, it's an effect. Basically, people will use it to explain. Why? Because if you don't use the cause and effect, the monotheism prefer using everything is determined by the God. They say God is the one who decides everything, but not the cause and effect. So we have to apply it in the daily life basic. But basically for Buddhism, cause and effect theory are mainly used in these circumstances. Okay, are predominantly applied to these circumstances. Okay. So now take a look. Okay, now we go to the next sentence. Okay, yes, whose turn to read? Elena, right? Elena?
Let us pose this question. What is the real meaning of cause and effect? According to the Buddha's discourse on dependent origination, existence does not imply an inherent or impermanent existence, but rather than one that arises and passes. Therefore, the Buddha's discourse speaks of the arising or appearance of phenomena. Ultimately, what exists is what appears, and what appears is what exists. How can things exist and why do they appear? They do so only due to causes and conditions. These causes and conditions also exist and appear. If they did not, they could not become the causes and conditions for the existence and appearance of the effects. Since those causes and conditions are existent and have arisen, they naturally depend on the causes and conditions. If one investigates deeply, one finds that all the events and things in the world, all the cycles of birth and death of sentient beings are formed only through such principle. Where there is a cause, there is an effect. Where there is a cause appear, an effect appears. Everything depends on causes and conditions and cannot depart from them. Apart from causes and conditions, nothing can exist. From the law, when this exists, that exists. When this arises, that arises. one will see that nothing exists by itself or forever. Everything in the world, all birth and death, whether in the past, present, or future, exists indirectly relating to one another in mutual dependence. Only by existing through indirect relationship and mutual dependence can they become cause and effect. Such is the profound meaning of cause and effect.
Okay, thank you so much. Okay, class. Do you remember that this one dependent of origination? How many times have we been studying it? How many times? Is this the first time or this is the second time we are studying?
Few times.
Few times. No. Actually, the whole 12 component would be studied for twice. Can you try to find out from me? Do you have the sketch or not, class? This sketch.
Yes, you give us the green one.
Yes, okay.
The green graph.
Yeah, this one. Can you find out there's it appears twice, depending on origination. Can you try to find out where is the location for this? It appeared twice actually. It shows, what is the significance behind it? How come it appeared for twice? From this diagram. Let's take a look, dependent origination.
Yeah, appeared twice. Number one.
Yes. Here, right? The law of dependent origination. So that will be the first time you go through, okay, for the 12, all right. For the 12 link, all right. And then now is the second time, all right.
The cycle and cessation.
Yes. It's in the 3 training. Do you see it?
Yes.
It's a training of the wisdom.
2 times.
Yeah, 2 times. Okay, 2 times both are related to Sila, Samadhi, or Panya. Related to which part? Sila, Samadhi, or Panya?
morality and panya.
Yeah, morality and panya. How about the rest? It's related to which one? No idea for Elena. Huh? Okay. Basically, it's on panya. No sila, on panya. Huh? So you will notice that it had been emphasized for twice by the author, because the author noticed that first, as you talk about the Four Noble Truths, especially to the second truth, it is unavoidably to mention the dependent origination. Okay. When you talk about the trait thinking, especially the right mindful, the right view, and you have to mention it again. All right. So both are related to the wisdom, to the panya, to the prajna. So dependent origination is so important in the prajna. So meaning to say that, I mean, if in the seven visuddhi, it is also in overcoming doubt and non-doubt. It's in the purification of overcoming doubt. In the purification of overcoming the doubt. So the doubt is regards to the past life, present life, and the future life. The doubt over for the tree, the doubt over to the tree life. All right. But with the dependent origination, you will no more doubt. Okay. But of course, it's not a theoretically study. You have to really go to the Vipassana to see the past life, present life, and the future life. Okay. So now we go.
Sifu,
yes. Anything?
Sifu, I thought it is the unshakable doubt on the three triple gem.
No. Well, if unshakable doubt to the three triple gem, we will mention this once you attain to the Sotapan.
Tapana, yeah.
So once you attain to Sotabana, you will attain the unshakable faith to the triple gem. But once we talk about the seven visuddhi, well, you haven't reached that level yet. But you just try to understand that basically the reincarnation is the 12th dependent is the 12th condition. They play the roles over it. It's not the God behind, and it is not without any cost. Because during the ancient Indian, they got so many schools. One school said that whatever you see in the world without any cost, without any cost, meaning to say that we don't need to be responsible for anything, for any act we do, right? So that is very, very bad, you know. One is said that, the God decide everything. So also said, if God decide, we let God decide lah. We no need to, to work, do the thing by it's not necessary to have our own effort. That is the problem, okay? So these two are we consider as a wrong view. Okay, next, let's take a look.
Okay, thank you.
Okay, yes, sure. Okay, then here, basically all is just about the same facts only. No much thing. Okay, now we go to the next sentence. Whose turn to read lah? Whose turn? Sevi, right? Please.
Following upon this profound view, one correctly understands that everything is impermanent and has no self. All things that exist and arise are impermanent. Look, the form world is decaying. Prosperous countries are declining and falling. Sentient beings are aging and dying. Roughly speaking, things last for at least a limited amount of time. The formation and decay of the world, the birth and death of sentient beings, apparently everything goes through a period of stability and then becomes extinct. But actually, things last for a kasana, an instant. Everything is being born and becoming extinct from moment to moment. As soon as it is born, it perishes. Why do all come into being and become extinct? This is the nature of dependent origination. That which exists from cause and conditions has to rely on causes and conditions. When the conditions disappear, it becomes extinct. All things engendered by causes and conditions, such as the body of sentient beings, are impermanent, unreliable, and in the end lead to extinction. When describing impermanence, the sutra used terms such as not everlasting, not reliable, not guaranteed, insecure, as well as impermanent.
Thank you so much. Okay. Okay, thank you. We lost Mr. Leong again. Okay. Okay, class. Basically, once there's a dependent origination, there's a cause and condition, meaning to say that everything in the world are subject in changing, are subject in impermanence. Okay. So he could example. Well, we will see the country. A very strong country can fall. For example, I think maybe American maybe is following this path, right? Okay, it seems a very strong country is getting down and down. Okay, and also the country is very weak, getting strong, like China, the way we see it. Okay, well, it seems everybody understand it, but the hard thing to do is we can hardly accept the fact that the impermanence law apply to the thing which we prefer. That is the thing which we attach. Okay, the person who we attach, all right, the belongings which we attach, okay, and if that is the source from your the feeling of happiness, you want it become continue. It is correct. That is the hard thing. Okay, we resist for the impermanent, especially for the things relate to us, and there's attachment to us. Of course, if it is irrelated to us, we won't bother whether you are here or there. We don't mind. But it's really attached. You attach to it, and then you start to feel the feeling of uncomfortable, right? So that's the thing. Well, Buddhism suggests a very good. The law of the nature for us. By accepting it, we can accept. By accepting the law, we use the law to view the world, to view the world, and then it makes us able to accept the fact for the destroying, even though the things we attach so much. That is the value from the Buddhism I see. Yeah, Elena, can you accept the fact that you cannot traveling? Maybe at least one to same is you not right not so Buddhism will help you I said you might not able to see your nephew some more so
Yeah.
another fact I also cannot go back to many things, you see. Always the rules of the impermanence, you see, it start changing. Okay, let's take a look. So everything go to parish. So he say, why do all come into being and become extincted? That is the nature of dependent origination. So in Sutta, we use so many words to describe it. Not everlasting, not reliable, not guaranteed. But one thing just bear in mind, if people fall in love, okay, don't go to say impermanence. Because people will punch you. Because once people they are in the, once people in love, I think the dopamine, excretion of dopamine will magnify the beauty for each other. And behind there must be a permanence there. Permanence there. There sure might be a permanence there. And from the permanence, it seems that both of them will try to control each other and mutually satisfy each other. It will happen like this. So we don't say impermanence to people who is falling in love. Or maybe once a mother loving the son, basically you don't say this, oh, this is impermanence. People don't like to hear over this because they enjoy so much the feeling. Okay, but anyway, we have to always bear in mind so one day it comes, we can accept it. But basically, we still will be sad. But one thing is, since we have all the theory in the mind, once we lost something, including our healthy or the wealth, okay, our theory will start to, heal ourselves. But let's say those who totally don't have this type of theory of impermanence, once they are sad, we can't do anything. Because it is not the right time to say impermanence once people in bad mood. It is correct. Okay, it is not a good time. So in conclusion, we should learn this once we are healthy, once we own everything. Okay, but if you lost everything, it's too late to learn. We don't know how to tell you all this. Okay, so that is something we can apply. But in Abhidhamma, everything they will try to use this theory to observe the world microscopically. Actually, it's about the microscopical work, but microscopical work is not that practical in our daily life. So sometimes we have to explain it in a different way. Okay, so that is for the class today.